Hello and greetings. I am Sifu Matt Lovio of here on YouTube for my China series. Uh, I'm somewhat excited, but yet unfortunately also kind of saddened to be able to finish my China series, but not unfortunately in the particular format that I wish to do so. Due to unforeseen circumstances, my primary training partner slash student, Fernando Rivera, or AKA Freddie, along with also my cameraman, my brother, were unfortunately unable to, due to their busy schedules, were not able to help me out with the rest of my series. So therefore, I have unfortunately no choice but to continue and finish this series on my own. But I'm hoping that it will not be able to help detour or help like a if you will water or bring down any of my tutelage or training that I wish to convey to you for the rest of my series. In other words, I will have to perform the exercises as well as some of the applications, if you will, solo by myself. But hopefully, you will still be able to learn, glean, if not better yet, gain an inkling behind the principle of the technique, rather than just adhere to a technique per se. Because in many ways, if you think about it, many, if not most Chinese Kung Fu systems are like that. Do not adhere or be unfortunately blind and a slave, if you will, to technique, but the principle that guides the technique. In fact, it's many ways it's the principle that helps define an art, not the technique. The technique is nothing but the signature. It's the principle, which is the very building blocks of the art. Now, I'd like to continue on with this series, if you will. This will be, forgive me, unfortunately, I've kind of lost count. I don't know whether, particularly if it happens to be maybe the 15th or 16th video, if you will, of my series. But I'll be continuing on after the last technique we left off, which, if memory serves correct, which was the Shuai Jiao throw. Now I'll be performing to you one of my favorite techniques of Qin Na. In fact, if I had one technique out of the entire repertoire of Qin Na to teach, this would be it. And it would be known as basically your standard basic armbar, a side armbar, which is a very popular technique within many martial arts, not just here in the Chinese grappling arts of either Shuai Jiao or especially in this case what we call Qin Na. You'll find in numerous different other martial arts, Japanese jiu-jitsu, judo, and even some other martial arts, such as you might see like in Indonesian pencak silat, Filipino kali, and so on and so forth, as well as the Korean martial arts too as well. Again, this technique is referred to, if you will, as old man promoted to general. I believe in the Japanese martial arts, it's referred to as wade garami or wauge garami, like a circular type of arm lock and so forth. I hope you enjoy it. Now, instead of me just prattling on and talking away about it, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Please forgive, due to the formatting, I will have to step back once in a while and demonstrate the technique so you can get a better inkling and see the footwork of the technique, and also be able to, then I will come up closer to be able to explain better and further the definition, or rather the application of the technique, which, by the way, in Chinese Kung Fu, when it comes to the application of forms, what bunkai is to the Japanese martial arts of their forms, especially for karate, or gamut is for many of the silat applications, if you will, especially for karasa kuntao silat. I'm sorry, excuse me, kuntao silat arts of Indonesia, Philippines, and so forth. In this case, in the Chinese Kung Fu, it is referred to as si ing yang or shi ing yang, which is the breakdown of a form or application of a form or application in general. Again, this technique is referred to as old man promoted to general. I will first be demonstrating all the techniques that bring up to the technique, and then you'll see the very last one, which is the one I'm trying to demonstrate and teach. Hope you enjoy. And as you've just seen, that is the particular last technique you've seen, which is known as old man promoted to general. An old man promoted to general is primarily, if you will, nothing more but a side armbar, but a very practical one. I have found in my experience to be practical in numerous different circumstances and conditions, whether it's in like a nice soft field, whether it's on concrete or a street, such asphalt and pavement type of surfaces, or in this case here, like on grass where it's not always even, or even dirt. It's a very practical technique you can use, and in many cases, not just standing up, but also even sitting, especially sitting down in a chair, or of course, if you're on the ground too, can be applied even then. Let me go down and demonstrate the technique again. Excuse me. Let me show the technique one more time, and I'll try to break down the applications. And what you've basically seen, if you will, what the motion is, if you saw, I did this turn and then this jerking type of quick motion. What it is, if someone was to basically grab it onto you, be it a sleeve, on your collar, if they worse, if they try to grab your neck, if you grab you by the throat, by the neck, grab you by the lapels of a blouse or shirt of some kind, if you will, or coat, whatever it may be. If they were to grab onto that, what you would do is if they were to grab on, say for example, with their right hand, what I would do is I would take my left hand on top of that one, if you will. I would my arm would come across that arm here. And then from the left hand, I would use that as a guide. That my other hand would come behind it, or I'll just use my right hand in general, behind the grip of the hand, and step back. And then my left arm will now come over my opponent's elbow, if you will, or rather above it, not directly on the elbow, but rather this area like of the tricep, the upper, just above the elbow. My armpit would come over it, and then I would lock up. Let me show it to you from the other side. Again, if they were to grab, my hand would come across, grabbing onto that hand, grabbing onto my lapel. My left arm would come up, raise up, and I would get my armpit above my opponent's elbow, or rather, as in this part here, at the lower part of the tricep. And I could just step back. I don't just stand in place and just do like that. Unfortunately, you can see from here from my footwork, from my feet, I would step as the technique shows and demonstrates. I would use a little teensy bit of footwork to be able to step behind, or sort of step and lock up. Very practical technique. It does not matter how they're able to grab onto me, be it sleeve, shoulder, lapel, my neck, if you will, whatever it may be. Very practical technique. I'll show it one more time, and then I'll move on for the next technique, and for also time for you to get down and try to practice on your own. From a different angle. And that's the end of it. Old man promoted to general. Just after Shuai throw, pretty soon finishing up the latter half of the 21 fundamentals of CA, or the late great Grandmaster David German's brand of Chin Na. I hope you enjoy. Please feel free to leave any likes or dislikes, any comments, both not just positive, but especially negative. I welcome them all. I'm a big boy. I can take it. I hope that, please let me know if you like. Please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to hearing any commentary you have. And I wish you the best of luck in your training. Until then, take care of yourself and all you know.